All right, so let's continue here. Obviously, this is not what we're going for. Although it's a pretty fun app, we want something of our own. And that's exactly what we're going to be building. So we want something like this, okay? Okay, let's get started. So first of all, let's go ahead and get rid of things that we don't need. So I'm going to just go ahead and delete all of this class there. And of course, this is going to give us problems. And I'm going to just delete that altogether. Let's see. Click and delete all of that. Okay, and I'm going to call this portfolio, which we haven't created yet. Portfolio class, that's what we're going to be creating. Okay, and we have an issue here because this is not what we are going for, which means first we need to put a comma there. But also it says here that we haven't created this class, this portfolio, which we're going to create in a second here. So what I'm going to do outside, I'm going to just say STL like this. This is a shortcut for us to create a stateless widget. Right? So I'm going to say enter, and then look at that. How convenient. And of course, I'm going to call this portfolio like this. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. Now, if I save this like this, it's going to restart everything, hot restart. If I go back here, you're going to see nothing is showing, mainly because we just have a container here. So that's exactly what we want, even though it's not great of a thing. So I'm going to delete all of this or get rid of that list, save that. Okay, so still nothing, but we're good. Okay, so what we want is not this. We want to create something like this, okay? Okay, so in our container here, instead of having container, we are actually going to return a scaffold. So I'm going to say scaffold like that. You can just hit enter. And for scaffold, we pass a few things. First of all, we're going to pass an AppBar. Okay, that's cool. In this case, I'm going to say AppBar widget like that. Everything is widget in Flutter. And in this case here, let's say something like, I'm going to give it a background and give it colors just to make it so that we can see something. I'm going to just use one of these amber accent colors. Let's save this, and you should see there it is, our amber accent color. Not what we're going for, but I just want to see that things are indeed working. And in this case, they are. Also, I'm going to get rid of this debug little thing here, banner, because we don't want that. To do so, all we do, we go to our material app like this and start typing debug show checked mode banner and just say false, because we don't want that. If you save that, go back, and it's gone. All right, very good. So back to our portfolio there. So we are not going to have that color. We're just going to have a white color like this. Next, let's add a title, because one of the widgets we could pass is a title for our app bar. So I'm going to say title, because it expects a widget, so it could be a text. Let's start with a text right away. And this text inside, I'm going to say Paulo, my name, and like this. Now you may say, okay, where is it? Why isn't it showing? Well, it is there. The reason why nothing shows is because the text color is always white. And because the background is white, of course, it doesn't show. So I'm going to show to you that this is true indeed. If I change the background to blue or black, you're going to see there it is, Paulo, right? Or conversely, I could say Control Z, go back, save again, and then add a style to our text. I can say style, say text style like this, and then pass in a color, colors that gray, blue gray like this. If you save, then we should be able, oh, still blue gray, still not a good color. Okay, let's say amber accent for now. So just to show you. Okay, there we go. There is Paulo. All right, so it's working. That's good, but that's not what we're going for. I'm just trying to show you real quick what is going on. What we want to do rather is to have something like this, right? So have this app bar that has this circular avatar. That's the name of this widget, and then a text with my name, and then of course a button. Okay, and you notice also we don't want to have that elevation here. So this is going to be kind of everything is going to be white in the background of the body of this page, as well as the background of the app bar. So it's going to be one color so that it doesn't look like this. How do we get rid of this elevation here, right? This shadow. Very simple. In our app bar, we can say elevation and give it 0.0. If you save that, you'll see that we no longer have that. Okay, very good. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is the title. I don't want this right now. What we want is to have this circle avatar and my name all to the left. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get rid of this text, or my name, that is. And instead, I'm going to add a circular avatar. But the thing is, I want to be able to have not just the circle avatar, but I want to also have beside it this text. How do we do that? Well, we could use what is called a row widget. So a row allows us to put things in a row, so side by side. Very convenient. So I'm going to say row, type row, and look at this. I can just select, go up and down, select that one, hit enter, and then enter again. So inside I can pass all the properties. In this case here, a row requires children, right? We can put more than one widget. What is the first widget I want to add? Well, according to our website here, we want to add this circle avatar, and then right after it, we want to add this text. So we are going to do the same, right? Let's say circle avatar as such. And for circle avatar, I'm going to add a radius because it takes a radius, so we know exactly how circular this will be. So the higher the radius, the more circular it's going to be. I'm going to say 28, okay? And then I'm going to add a background color. I'm going to say colors. We can add any color we want because it's not going to matter really, because we are going to actually have a foreground image. So the image is going to be on top of our background, the thing that's going to be seen first. In our case here, we're actually going to use a network image widget because I am going to use an actual URL from a website so we can retrieve the image. So I'm going to say network image like that, right? And it requires a URL, okay, as a string. All right, so how do I get that URL? One thing you could do is, let me open another tab here, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to show you a really nice place where you can get URL that contain images. I'm going to say picsum like this. So the picsum.photos, as you see there, let me make this a little bit bigger. Picsum, lorem picsum.photos, or lorem picsum, as you see here, gives us these random images that we can actually go ahead and get the URL and use those images to our liking, right? So I'm going to just copy this. So it's always nice to have something handy like that when we're testing things out. So if I put like that, if I save this, let's go back to our test here, and you can see there was that yellow, and now we have that really nice image. Now, if you go ahead and continue to save, which is going to refresh everything, you should get a different image because it's always going to randomly generate different images. All right, very good. So we're making good progress here. Next, we want to add that Paulo, or that name, right beside it, right? Because that's what we said we want to do. And since we have this row, then we can accomplish that. That means then after our circle avatar, I'm going to add the text widget. So in this case, text widget, and I'm going to say Paulo. You can put your name, of course, and I'm going to give it a style, say text style as such, like that, so I can style everything. All right, so the color, I'm going to say colors, that black, right? And I want the font size to be about 20. Forget comma there. And font weight, I want to say font weight. Let's use W weight of about 500, this. And I want font style to be font style italic, like this. Let's save this, and there you have it. Okay, it looks great, but it's too close together. What can we do to separate or to add some padding around it? Yes, as the name implied, padding. Yes, we can actually wrap any widget with a padding widget. It's very handy. Now, here's the cool thing you can do with VS Code. You click the widget that you want to wrap with another widget, and then you say command dot or period, right? Or control dot or period on your keyboard, and this happens. Then you can go up and down with your arrow up and down. You can say wrap with widget if none of those widgets are available from here. In this case, it is available, which is to wrap the padding, that is. So select that and hit enter, and all of a sudden you have that padding wrapping our text, right? It even gives us the edge insets of 8, the general one. So if you save this, takes a few seconds, and voila. So looks really nice. And one thing I can change is that yellow wasn't a great idea for the background color. right? Because it's white and it shows that. We don't like that. Let's change for yellow. Instead of yellow, where is it yellow? Let's just say white. That way it just bleeds in through and doesn't create that weird effect there. There we go. So we have Paolo and there's that spacing there. The other thing I can do too, I want to offer this to you, is that I can also create a padding around our circle avatar. Do you remember how to do that? Right. Select that, say Command or Control and then period key, and then go ahead and say padding, and there we go. About 8 is fine. Save, and you can see all of them have the padding. Now, this could be a little bit too much if you look at this that way. As you can see, it goes to the top there. It's almost touching, right? Maybe too much there. You can play around with that if you want. Okay, so we are making real good progress. In the next video, what are we going to do? We are going to see if we can add a nice button to the right of our app bar.